Hi, welcome back to Petra's Happy Place. Here we talk about crochet, reading, writing, and a little bit of Jesus. So today I'm going to do something different. Lately I've been talking just about crochet, and there's been something going around, and I thought I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and do it myself. And it's called 10 Non-Yarney Things About Me. Now, some of you might already know some of these things. Others are going to be surprised at some of these things. So, without further ado, and I will be looking down at my notes just to make sure I don't forget anything. So, the number one, I love to read. I think you saw that in one of my previous videos. But I mainly like Christian fiction, whether it's mystery, thriller, romance, just any kind of genre in Christian fiction I love. The other thing I love is just any murder mystery, period. I love Mary Higgins Clark. She's one of my all-time favorites. So the other one I like is Jane Austen. I love anything Jane Austen related. I love the fan fiction that's out there. Yeah, I just love it all. In fact, I have a series of fan fiction books that Mr. Happy has gifted me one year, and then there was a different set of fan fiction, or what's the other word for it? Not just fan fiction, but anyway, it's like in the same genre, in the same time period, and changing it up just a little bit. But I just love anything like that. And Jane Austen's my favorite. I even got myself a Jane Austen coffee cup. Love it. Okay, number two. I used to, for about a little over a year, I worked as an editor in a publishing company. Now, it was a small publishing company just starting out, but I was asked to edit the manuscripts that they were getting in order to publish. And I was working up a nice little portfolio, and to this day, there is still one lady that I have become dear friends with. I had I had edited one of her books, and she has told me from here on out, I will be her sole editor. Love this woman. Thank you. Love you, Sandy. Okay, number three. I work for an optometrist, and I've been there for over 5 years. One of my favorite things about working there is the patients. I love them. One day I'll have to quit. I can't work there anymore. Until then, I'm going to treasure every moment I get with those patients. Another thing I like about working there is seeing all the new pretty glasses frames that are out there. Yeah, every year, even though my prescription doesn't necessarily change, that was one of the things that Mr. Happy says I can go ahead and get another pair of glasses, as long as they're not too gaudy. This is about the gaudiest that I've got right here, but I love them. Purple. Gotta love purple. Okay, number four. When I was about 11 or 12 years old, I almost got run down by Roy Clark's limousine. I was at a rodeo. I was in the parking lot. I was coming in between cars, and he was late to the venue, and I was late to the venue, and I wanted to get there with my cousin, and yep, he had to slam on his brakes, and we went on across. And I know it was him, because when he passed us up, it was one of those long white stretch limos, and on the back it says Roy Clark on his license plate. So, I don't know what we would have done if he hit us. But anyway, he probably doesn't even know who we are. Number five. I met Mr. Happy on christianmingle.com. We've been married now for almost 5 years. We met back in 2012, right after I got back from a trip, and we've been together ever since. Okay, number 6. I recently, and I'm talking like in the last year and a couple months, I've lost over 90 pounds. That's a big change. And so now I'm having to either make my own clothes or buy a whole new wardrobe. It's been a little crazy. I've been trying to conserve and only get a couple pieces, which in a way is kind of good because minimalism is a good thing. Especially when you have to wear a uniform to work, and it's the same thing. So I really only have to wear street clothes a couple days a week. Okay, number 7. 7 years ago, right before I met Mr. Happy, actually, no, I did, yes, I met Mr. Happy before that. I met him in April or May, and then in June I booked a trip, and in July I took a trip to Germany and Italy. Dream of a lifetime. Ever since I can remember, I've always wanted to go to Italy. I got to go to Italy. I got to see all those things everybody talked about. Now, it was a whirlwind trip, and I was only in Italy for a week and a half, but the things I saw there, I would love to go back. Yeah, there were some things I didn't get to see, and I would really like to go back at some point. It might not happen this lifetime, but it's okay. I did get to go. And in Germany, I went over to Germany first. I have a lot of family that lives in Germany, and I got to spend a lot of time with them, and it just breaks my heart that I can't be there because we all could be such good friends. My cousins and I, even though we spoke different languages, they still have to learn English in their schools, but I had such a wonderful time. So, number 8, I adopted my 3rd child, a little girl, from China back in 1999. Yeah, she's an adult now, but I had to go to China to go get her. So I have traveled a little while. So yeah, she's a wonderful, beautiful girl, and yeah. So number 9, I have been writing fiction for several years now. I've been writing fiction, well, and nonfiction too, because I did have a blog. So I have been writing, let's see here. I dabbled in a little bit of fan fiction, didn't get very far in it. I have starts of like probably 20 stories. I have finished one. And that one is not worth publishing. But I have written a lot. And that is something that I really wanted to do. It's not as high of a priority anymore, but I've taken lots of courses. I even took an editing course to become an editor. So I went to some conferences. Yeah, but one day maybe the Lord will bless me and I'll do a little bit more of that too. Who knows? Okay, and number 10. Okay, I grew up in a military family. My dad was military. So I got to live all over the United States. And I got to go to Germany twice. Now, granted, I was a child, teenager, adolescent, but I still remember those times. So let's see. I was born right smack dab in the middle of the country in Fort Riley, Kansas. And I think if you look, I think it just might be right in the center of the United States. Lived there all of, I think, 6 months. Then Dad got stationed over in Germany, where my brother was conceived and was born. Lucky thing. He's got a dual citizenship. He always gets those kinds of things. So anyway, then we moved to Washington State. Then we spent some time in Illinois with my grandparents. Then we went back to Germany again. Then we came back to Texas. Lived a little while in Oklahoma City. And then Dad retired here in Kentucky. Mr. Happy, brought it to my attention that would make me, because my mom is full-blooded German. She is an American citizen, but she's full-blooded German. Dad's American. I am the first generation American on my mom's side of the family. Just saying. That's a pretty good thing, I think. I wish I could be like my brother and have dual citizenship, because I'd really like to go back to Germany. But for now, it is what it is. Maybe one day. Who knows? The way things are going, there's no telling what next year is going to bring. So, those are the 10 non-Yarney things about me. There was many more. I just narrowed it down to some of the bigger ones. So, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Wait a minute. Let me interrupt here just a minute.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to ask some follow-up questions here. So clarification of character.
Okay, Mr. Happy decides he wants to jump in. I guess I have to give him the floor.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
What's my favorite Christmas movie? Probably Christmas in Connecticut.
And what Christmas movie do you despise?
I despise the very one that is your favorite Christmas movie, which is A Christmas Story.
Yeah, this is the type of person you're watching on YouTube right now. The person who can't stand.
I cannot stand A Christmas Story. The dumbest Christmas movie ever. My opinion, of course. Okay. Thanks for that question, Mr. Happy. All right. Bye, everybody.